Hey guys, what's up? We're back, and today we have another video. We're going to do a comparison and a review of two Game Boys in 2020, the Game Boy Advance to be specific. But before we get started, I just wanted to remind you, if you're new to this channel, to subscribe, like this video, and turn on your notifications so you'll be the first one to see all our new content. Comment down below if this video helped you, and let's get started. Alright, so right here we have our original Game Boy Advance. Turning it on, you will see that it does not have a backlit screen, and it will just show your Game Boy colors. And up next, we have our original clamshell design Game Boy Advance SP. As you can see right here, it does open up, and it is a bit newer than the Game Boy Advance. And this is the backlit model, so it does light up nicely, as you can see right here. And you have two different brightness settings right there. Both of these consoles are pretty old, especially for kids like me. The Game Boy Advance, the original model, did come out in 2001, where the Game Boy Advance SP or Game Boy Advance Special came out in 2003. That was a 001 model, where this backlit AGS 101 model did come out in 2005 and is a bit newer and has a better screen. Just looking at both of the consoles, you can see that the original Game Boy Advance does need AA batteries that just go on the back right here, and you can replace them very easily. You do have the same controls on both the Game Boys other than the brightness right here, because this one does have a backlit screen where this Game Boy, the original Game Boy Advance, does not. The Game Boy Advance SP does fold and has a hinge on the back, where the original Game Boy does not, and they are both, I think, around the same weight, I feel. Something that you do notice right away is that this one does have a rechargeable battery, which is a really nice feature that Nintendo did include as they were updating their hardware. Comfort-wise, both of these Game Boys are decently comfortable, and I can withstand long periods of playtime, although since both of these are relatively small, they will hurt your hands after too long. Not the original Game Boy Advance, but I'd say mostly as the Game Boy Advance SP. Because it is much smaller than most of your DS's, which are already fairly small. And now we get to the question of, should you get a Game Boy Advance or Game Boy Advance SP? And the answer is, depending on who you are. Because collectors, yes, this is a great addition to your collection, and it really shows how Nintendo has improved over the years, but this is not a console that I would recommend for kids. It is very outdated, and most little kids, unless they are very, very small, will probably not enjoy playing retro games such as the original Mario Kart Super Circuit and games like Pokemon Emerald that came out a very long time ago, and the software isn't as new. Not to mention that the Game Boy Advance costs around $35 to even $60 and is a very expensive option, and you can get way better things for kids to play on than just a old Game Boy Advance. And Game Boy Advance SPs, if it is the original model, they will go for around $80, but this model will go for sometimes over $100 depending on its condition, and because of its outdated software, is not the most recommendable for most kids. Now, some adults may play this sometimes just for nostalgia, will actually cause some people, such as adults and collectors, to buy these just to remind them of their childhood back in the early 2000s and 1900s. Nowadays, gaming consoles such as a Nintendo Switch, our trusty Nintendo 2DS, the PSP and PS Vita, and new 3DS XL all offer great hardware and are a lot more modern than these old tech and cost around the same price. As you can see, the Game Boy Advance is a lot more portable, which does provide a good, small, really, really small option if you do need to have something, but it just won't fit anywhere else. But the Game Boy Advance is also very, very strong, and if you drop it, it will not break. Most likely. Do not quote me on that. But as a collector and a gamer, I would say that having a Game Boy Advance is a great addition to your collection. But still, as a kid, despite all I said, I still think that the Game Boy Advance is a fun little console that I sometimes just find myself sitting down and playing. You can play many titles such as The Legend of Zelda, old Pokemon games, old Mario games, even Mario Kart and Mario Bros. 3. You have a lot of options that you can do on this tiny little console. all Game Boy Advances can play all Game Boy Advance and all other original Game Boy games, which do add thousands or hundreds of games to your collection that you can just sit down and play, which is something that I did not mention, even though the Game Boy screen is a bit wide and your games might be a bit stretched out or blocky. And it is really fun when you're just trying to pass some time or sit down. It is also fun to have Game Boy Advances on the shelf, just that you can whip out sometimes and show to your friends and add to your collection. They do make a beautiful addition to your collection, and if you add the DS, you can really tell how Nintendo has slowly modified and upgraded their systems from Game Boy to DS. And I will make a separate video explaining how this worked and the similarities and differences between these consoles, but let's save that for a different video. Well, if I'm not getting a Game Boy Advance, what should I get? Well, lucky for you, almost 20 years have passed since the Game Boy Advance. Some things that I do recommend are things like the Nintendo 2DS, which offer a great variety of thousands of games. They can play all DS games. The Nintendo 2DS is a great option for many kids to play on. Also, systems like the PSP are also very fun to just sit down and play. The new 3DS XL offers a big screen and is a bit cooler to some kids who want to play on the go with a big, nice, luxurious display, huge controls, and you get a little bit faster processing power. On the shelf, the Game Boy Advance is pretty fun to have in your collection, and it really does add a little bit of a retro feel when you're looking back at it and showing it to your friends, especially when you make your consoles look newer and newer. I will get to another video in which I show you guys how to make your own video game collection. Well, after telling you all these reasons of the different people who'd like to get Game Boy Advances, I think it's up to you to decide whether this is the right console for you, and if you are a collector, if you should get this, or if you just have little kids at home, if you should get this at home. Personally, I'm not really sure who you are and what are the reasons you're going to be getting this, but I offered you guys some alternatives to what would be a little more fun and a little less outdated than the Game Boy Advance. But to collectors, the Game Boy Advance is still, I definitely would really recommend it just to have on your shelf and show off this beautiful little console. We will get to a different video in which we compare the different Game Boy Advances if you want to get a bit more specs and to see how Nintendo updated their consoles and how they made it where it started from the Game Boy and into the DS line, and why, if you have these, it will really add to your collection and kind of show the different advancements that Nintendo has made over the years. Thanks for watching this video, and if it helped you make your decision, please don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and comment down below if this helped you out. I will be trying to post content very frequently, so make sure you turn on your notifications so you will be the first one to see all our latest content. If you have any ideas for videos, please comment down below, and see you later.